Okay, you're going to love this story. This is called Josepine and the Excel sheet. And Josepine was working for a large organization in food, and it was FMCG, but it was more commodities business. Actually, it was a sugar producer. Yeah, they produced sugar. And the company was a normal, big organization with a load of change going on within the organization. So she was in operations, and they changed the software, okay? So they were always using Excel, and Excel was the tool of choice, and then they brought in a new piece of software, and everything broke down, yeah? And everybody hated this software. The whole organization, worldwide. There were big fights, and everybody was blaming each other because nobody could do anything with the new software. It delayed the process, etc. You've been there, right? It's I'm sure everybody's got an experience of something like this. Yeah. So her challenge was, how does she get her team using the software effectively? Yeah. And now she did use a pure IT approach for this. And so one of her IT people came in, and she was shouting at him and saying, why did you install this horrible piece of software that we cannot use? And he was saying, look, I'm sorry, it's the global strategy, this is what we have to do. And she says, well, maybe you can help me actually get my people using it, because everybody hates it. Yeah. And he says, yes, I can. Yeah? This is what we do. We will use an agile approach to running a software implementation project. And she says, and what's that? And he says, look, every day, yeah, you run 4 meetings. One at the beginning of the day, one just before, coffee, one after lunch, and one at the end of the day. Each meeting is 5 minutes long. And the only content of that meeting is one element of the software, one piece. Did it work? One particular function. Everybody focuses on one particular function during the day, yeah? And then you see how it goes. The software has a total of 200 functions which need to be mastered, which means how many days do you need? 200 days to get it working? Well, we'll see. Yeah? And so this is what she did. And the first couple of meetings were interesting because everybody was complaining about the software. But because the focus of the complaint had been reduced, what you had was 7 or 8 people coming into the meeting. One person was saying, it doesn't work, and the other person was saying, oh, no, it does, let me show you how that works. Yeah? So because the complexity of the software was reduced in the meeting, yeah, which means the interactions and individuals was brought over the process and the tool, then all of a sudden the discussion became about being the working solution rather than the documentation and the user manual that was behind it. So within 3 days, they realized that the 6 or 7 core pieces of functionality were, okay, not easy, but they were certainly easier than everybody thought they were. Yeah? Within 6 weeks, this particular department was already at the front of the field from a worldwide perspective on using this software. And within 8 weeks, all of the IT departments came to this department to work out exactly how they had done it. Yeah? And how did they do it? They did it by using an agile approach, which means the Josepine set up 4 meetings a day, and the content of the meetings was always the same. One piece of software functionality, does it work, does it not work, how do we fix it? Yeah? That was the one particular topic for these particular meetings. It didn't replace the other meetings she had. These were additional meetings within the course of the day. And they also used one particular principle from the IT environment, which was they didn't do sit-down meetings. They got one of these big bar tables, and they met around the particular bar table. There were 2 laptops with the software always positioned there so that they could be used. And this bar table approach became a very fundamental piece of the success of the project as well. So this is agile. This is reducing the time of the meeting, increasing the quantity of the meeting, putting the individuals and interactions over everything else, collaborating with your internal customers, responding, yeah, rather than just, you know, looking at the global rollout plan and then focusing on working solutions rather than just looking at the user manual and seeing what do we need to do next.